Welcome back for another Watercolor Wednesday. 'Tis the season to start celebrating the holidays. So I wanted to do a loose wet and wet watercolor that was inspired by the holiday season. So the first thing I'm doing is painting a wobbly edge triangle onto my paper with just water. And then I'm dropping in various greens. I really want to get those color bleeds. I want to keep it super loose. I am just trying to get the essence of a Christmas tree shape on my paper using the 3 greens that I have in my palette. And then I went ahead and did the same thing for the trunk. I left a little space between the green triangle and the trunk shape so that my colors wouldn't bleed together and get muddy. And I'm dropping in 2 different colors of brown into my trunk shape. And then I'm going to take my smaller brush and I'm going to loosely paint in with water a star at the top of the tree. Again, being very careful not to touch the star wet area to the triangle of the tree branches, the tree top. And then I'm just dabbing in the color and so that it gradually spreads out and then kind of helping it, nudging it into the points of the star. And then I noticed I had a puddle forming in the center of my tree. So I took a clean dry brush and kind of soaked up that a bit, and then that inspired me to do some dabbing technique on the tree green itself so that I kind of pulled off those colors and then I carried that down to the trunk as well. And that allows me to take away some of the color and get some cool like muted areas, but then also drop more color back in, but with less water on the page, so that I can have some bolder areas of color also. And I still get the beautiful bleeds, but I get the softness of the muted areas where I've absorbed the color, and then the boldness where I'm dropping in more color. It just makes for a really wonderful play between all the different values and the colors that are going on. So if you haven't played around with pulling out color and then dropping color back in, I highly recommend it. And then I decided I wanted to do a background. And I have this masking fluid pen that I've newly acquired in my art stash. So I wanted to use that to roughly dab in some areas that would then mask out the illusion of stars. So I'm just dabbing all over the place, trying to keep it from going in a pattern, trying to have it be more random and clustered so that it gives it the essence of a star effect in the background. And then I have to let my masking fluid dry. So I went and grabbed a cup of tea and just took a break and let that dry before I returned to my art table to then wet the background and do again a wet on wet application, but this time with some blues. And I really wanted some bold blues so that the star and the tree colors would pop off of that background. But I also because I put stars down with my masking fluid, I wanted to give it the essence of nighttime without using black. So I went ahead and went for my darker blues and popped in some really bold color. Let it be super slappy because I wasn't going for a wash. I wanted it to kind of have the ebb and flow of darker areas and lighter areas. And then being very careful as I painted up to the edge and around the edge because parts of my other painting were still wet. The masking fluid dried before some of the watercolor did. And I didn't want to muddle, lose my star or, mess up, get any of the overlap. So it's very loose and rough, but still being careful. Dropping in some additional bold colors, just really wanting that dark background to pop. Now once it's dried, I can go ahead and remove the masking fluid dots with this handy dandy tool that I don't know the name of, but I've had in my art stash for a very long time without really knowing what it was for. So I'm just roughly going over the page and then I'm checking it as I go just to make sure that I don't miss any of the masking fluid dots along the way, because this particular masking fluid brand dried blue, just like the paint color I put down. So I just kind of give it a feel just to make sure everything has been cleared away. And I'm really happy with how my loose wet on wet Christmas tree turned out. Till next time!